Hey, what's up, guys and gals? Good morning, my friends. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the grind. Thank God, man. The 3-day weekends. By day 3, it gets a little bit scary. I'm wandering around. I'm pacing the office back and forth, waiting to get back to the action. But let's do a quick sound check here on YouTube and a quick sound check in the free room. Hey, what's up, Lorna, Mirza, Alan, and Ed? All right, my friends, we will jump in here. We got a big week ahead. Now on the futures here, I got a little bit of a short going. So I actually I went into last night's future session looking to play it to the upside. So the market was closed on Friday, or the cash market, that is, but you did have your futures open for, I think it was maybe 45 minutes. So during your little bit of action on Friday, things were shaping up pretty good here. Hourly squeeze, hourly buy signal, and that all kind of fizzled out overnight. And now things have taken a turn for the bears. So as far as sell signals go, we've got sell signals on the 2-hour, the 1-hour, the 30-minute, the 15-minute, the 5-minute, and the 3-minute. And then over here on your hourly chart, we are just starting to fire a squeeze to the downside, and you got your shift here in your ATR trailing stop. So with all that being said, I went and bought some 4140 puts for this Friday's expiration. And the move I'm trying to catch here is a flush down towards 4100. Now, I learned my lesson last week. At least for now, being short down at 4100 is a little bit tough. So all I'm trying to catch here is the flush from the hourly squeeze down into your support at 4100, and then we will take it from there if we get there. So that's a little bit of the day trade. But bigger picture, guys. Actually, let me take it back to the hourly chart. So as far as the ATR trailing stop, and I'll show you all the settings here, just in case they haven't caught it yet. But frankly, for me, this has been a total game changer. The trailing stop. So here's the settings I'm using. Per Henry Gamble's advice, period of 9, factor of 2.9, average type exponential. And then as far as the colors go, that's whatever tickles your fancy. But point being, I've been using the trailing stop mainly for day trades. Something like this hourly squeeze. All right, we're bullish. We're trending above the trailing stop. And then boom, everything shifts in the favor of the bears. Indicator goes from bullish to neutral. Then it goes from neutral to bearish. You take out your 21, and then you get your shift there in the trailing stop. Right, if all that comes together in a squeeze, typically a pretty good combination for a flush lower. But as far as the trailing stop on a bigger time frame, I want to take y'all back to January of 2023. A few of you might remember it. But back here in January of this year, things were shaping up pretty good for the bulls. And as far as my indicator goes, things were setting up back here in January for the bulls pretty much as good as they had since we started the downtrend. We're above the weekly 21. We got some weekly buy signals. We got a big weekly squeeze. All right, everything's shaping up here. And even your daily chart back in January. Come on, Thinkorswim. There we go. But right back in January, your daily chart was looking pretty spiffy. Indicator goes bullish. You're above your 21. You're above the trailing stop. So point being, back in January, things were really shaping up for the bulls. Weekly squeezes, daily squeezes, buy signals everywhere. However, they didn't do too much with it. All they did with it, right, the ball was in their court. All they did with it was rally it back up to that weekly trailing stop. So what I'm finding is that trailing stop, it's a pretty meaningful level even on a bigger time frame. So go back to, say, the COVID market, right, the best days of my life, and you get your initial break, but then you get your shift. Indicator goes bullish. shift of the trailing stop, and we ride that trailing stop from 3,000 bucks, right, all the way up to the highs of 4,800. So pretty modest push higher there. And then ever since we start the downtrend, all your rallies fail to get above and shift that trailing stop. So you rally back here, you smooch the trailing stop, and you roll over. Right, big gear up for round two. We're rallying. Here comes the bulls. They take it up to that trailing stop, they smooch it, and we roll over. All right, then comes January, and the bulls arrive at a loaded gun. Weekly buy signals, daily buy signals, but again, all they're able to do is pump it up into that trailing stop, and then we roll over. So point I'm trying to make, again, everything looks pretty good right now. Just like back in January, right? The weekly chart is identical, the daily charts are identical, etc. If they can't get it above and through that 4,200 level, if they can't shift that trailing stop, then don't be shocked, guys, if the party for the bulls ends here. If you're focusing solely on your 30-minute chart, your 1-hour chart, your daily chart, it all shapes up pretty good. Just like it did back here. Now, vice versa, if things are just so strong this week or maybe next week, and we can actually break above your previous swing highs, break above that trailing stop, and then shift it, well, that'd be a shift in the dynamic we haven't seen since the downtrend started. All right, we've seen this movie before. We've seen the rally back to the weekly 21. We've seen that movie a handful of times. We've seen the movie where they take the indicator bullish, they start flashing all kinds of pretty colors. Like, we've seen all of this before. And continuously, it all kind of ends the same way. Right, here comes the bulls, not so much. All right, here comes the beginning of a bull market, maybe not. Here comes the bulls, maybe not just yet. If we can break above and shift that level, doesn't mean we're going back towards all-time highs, but that would be a pretty big change, a pretty big shift, to say the least. So be very mindful of that level. I, for one, am not going to be shocked if we can break through it. Right? They've got some good stuff here. A weekly squeeze of the weekly buy signal, nothing to sneeze at. So I'm not going to be shocked if they can break it through and keep the party going. But based on how things unfolded back here in January, I'm also not going to be shocked if we fail from somewhere up here. So things to keep in mind, guys. But as we head into the open, it all leans a little bit bearish for now, at least on your lower time frames. So I'm going to keep an eye on my short here. If one of y'all can do me a favor, if anybody can pull some strings, I just need $8 lower. All right, I need $8 lower. Then I will cover my short down here at support. I can tell my wife I had a good trade, and all will be good in the world. But that's that, guys, as far as the bigger picture. Keep a close eye on that 4,200-ish level. And again, if you haven't added the trailing stop to your charts, as a friend, I really, really suggest it. So I'll give you one more sneak peek at the settings here. But this has made my entries and my exits so much better. Right? Even trading the same setups, using the same signals, it's made things just so much smoother. So period of 9, factor of 2.9, average type exponential. But what I mean by making things easier, I was trading the micro S&P futures earlier. I had, I think, 4 or 5 contracts. And I was looking for the hourly chart to fire along. All right, then we break the 21. You print the sell signal, and you got the shift at the trailing stop. Like, at that point, it's a pretty easy decision. All right, hey, I'm wrong for now. Take the trade off, and you move on to the next one. All right, just so it turns out the next one was getting short. So I'm a big fan of the trailing stop. But as far as a few setups here, outside of the S&Ps, one that I continue to like, but it doesn't like me too much, is gold. Wait a minute. It's down 1%. Sounds like a big pullback, but not quite yet. But yeah, guys, gold here. Mind you, I've been waiting for a pullback to buy it for probably 3 weeks now. But mark my words, one of these days we're going to wake up. Gold is going to pull back to that daily 21, and then maybe I get my chance for a good entry. And remember, the whole goal here is, let's go plant. All right, watch the S&Ps. 4106. But yeah, the whole goal here with the whole goal with gold, try to catch a decent flush, and then with patience, of course, trying to plant my seeds and get positioned here inside that monthly squeeze. All right, so this is all bigger picture. What I'm looking at on the S&P futures, that's all shorter term. Those are trades I might put on at 9 o'clock and take off at 9:15. When you're swing trading, especially if you're going to swing trade off of a bigger time frame like a monthly chart, if anything, this is a bit more like position trading. Right, I'm going to build up a core position here, and unless things totally fall apart, I'm going to hang on tight and let it run. So kind of like back here, you pull back a bit, you print a big giant monthly squeeze, well, somewhere in this neighborhood. I think you're going 6, 9, maybe 12 months out to expiration. I think you're buying some Delta 70 in the money calls, and you let the bad boy go. And if you can see that monthly squeeze fire to the upside, not always, but usually there's a pretty monster move on the other side of it. So I like that monthly chart. I like the weekly chart. I mean, this is like really good stuff. First leg higher, indicator goes bullish. First pull back to the trailing stop, they hold it perfectly. Right? That, in hindsight, of course, but in hindsight, that could have been the best entry possible. Let them pump it. Let them take the indicator bullish. And where you really learn a lot more is on your first pullback to that 21. Your first pullback to that trailing stop. I mean, this is like perfection. Never stops printing the buy signal, holds up perfectly, and then boom, you take out your previous little high. So I am digging gold. And to be honest, guys, I don't have too much as far as, okay, I want to trade Tesla, I want to trade Google. A lot of my focus right now is just on the indices. But a couple names here that I do like. I mean, being that they're all going to move with the market, the one that's kind of catching my eye here is Shopify. The old Shopperoo. And I think we talked about this one last week, but we'll take a quick look here. I like the weekly chart. Thinkorswim's a little bit slow today. Thinkorswim's a little bit hungover from the Easter festivities. But yeah, check out the weekly chart here on Shop. Now, not quite like gold, but it's a similar thinking where, all right, we're in a weekly squeeze. We get our first leg to the upside, and the indicator finally goes bullish. All right. First back test of the 21 EMA and the trailing stop holds up perfectly. That continues to print your buy signal. Now you get a brand new weekly squeeze. So again, go back to that chart of gold. Indicator goes bullish. You hold your first back test. From there, typically, you're going to grind back to the upside and take out your previous highs. So that's gold taking out 1975. For Shopify, that'd be a move back towards $55. Come on, Shop. Right? Not as strong as gold, but same kind of thinking. When the indicator prints your buy signal, all that tells you is your structure, your momentum. At the moment, everything's aligned here for the bulls to take it higher. right? The ball is in their court. They've got what they need. What do they do with it? And it all holds up pretty good here. So market willing, meaning if the S&Ps totally fall apart, this trade won't work. But if the next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks here do see the market generally trading higher, I like to shop weekly squeeze for a pushback towards 55. And in a perfect world, I think you buy some calls for the earnings expiration, try to catch that push into earnings, and then get the heck out of there before the announcement. But that is about it, my friends. Like I said, a lot of my focus right now is on, in the mastery, we're doing trades on the SPX, and then a little bit of futures trading as well. But while I got y'all here, as always, we'll crank up the scans, see what we got out there. Oh yeah, I didn't show y'all. I found my dream condo this morning. It's a pretty good deal too. Check this out. Seems like a reasonable deal. It's only 17.8 million bucks. Look at this freaking thing though. So one day I hope to pay 18 million bucks for a condo like that, so I can sit in that chair right there and do the same thing I'm doing this morning. But all right, scans. Oh yeah, that's right. The market isn't open yet. All right, so we can't do scans for now. But I think I'm going to be back with y'all later. So let me just check the schedule. Let me check the schedule. Perfect. All right, cool. So yeah, guys, I'll be back today around 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. So when I come back later, we'll do some scans and see what's setting up out there. But that is my spiel for this morning. And if you guys and gals got any questions, feel free to let me know in the chat here, and we'll bang a few out before they open. Let me go see these S&Ps. Come on, guys. The water's warm at 4,100. You know how much you love coming down to that 4,100. It's all you did last week. Just one more time. One more time for old time's sake. But all right, guys, I'll get caught up in the chat here and see what you got. Yeah, thanks for all the good mornings. Is a trailing stop the same as a chandelier exit? Ed, I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of a chandelier exit. It sounds pretty fancy though. So now you've piqued my interest. I'm gonna do a quick Google search for that. I'm gonna totally butcher the spelling. Oh, look at that! I got it right. So yeah, Ed, I've never heard of that before. But if you're able to come back later today around 2 o'clock, I'll take a look at that on the internet and see if there's any similarities between the two. We shall find out, Ed. And yeah, I like shop. And don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, there's a lot of stocks out there that look awesome. I can show you a few more. I mean, for one, you got your big boys, right? The big fellas of the world. Now, admittedly, the only thing I can do with a Microsoft up here, 2,300 miles above the daily 21, is just day trade it. Or let me reword that. I can day trade it, or I can swing trade it in a fashion where if I'm buying it up here at 292 and we gap down to 275, I don't want to blink. Like, I don't want to be in all kinds of emotional pain. I don't want to be taking all kinds of unnecessary damage. Hey, it's super strong. Nothing but buy signals. And yeah, the party could continue to go here. But if I'm going to get swing long at these extensions, part of that game plan is, hey, if we gap down tomorrow to the buy zone, I probably want to buy a little bit more. But I think those are more so, day trade them, take them to lunch. You take them out to Chili's, you do a quick 2 for 20, and then you move on. That's kind of like your Microsoft's Apple. Right? Apple is just pumping away here. Now, Amazon, on the other hand, in comparison to a Microsoft or a Google, Amazon here, it actually offers a much better swing trade entry, in my opinion. Right, the whole goal is, all right, let's wait till all the criteria is met. Let's wait till we got all our pretty colors. And then as a swing trader, I'm really trying to catch that push away from the 21 EMA. Like that's what I'm doing on the futures on the day trade side. I don't want to get short on the hourly chart all the way down here. I don't want to get short down here. I want to get short up here. All right. By the time we've pushed 1, 2, 3 average true range moves away from that 21 EMA, I want to be in the profit. So same rules apply on the swing side of town. Roblox is another one. Roblox. Like that's pretty solid. Weekly chart looks good. Your daily chart is cranking. Your 1 hour, your 30, your 15 minute. So don't get me wrong. There's a handful of things out there that look really good right now for day trades and for swing trades. Just the major thing to keep in mind is they're all going to follow Mama Duck, and the Mama Duck here, of course, is the S&P 500. So trade the individual stocks, right? Do your thing, but I think a huge part of your game plan should be trying to trade the individual stocks in alignment with the S&P 500. Meaning, where am I way more, willing and excited to get swing long Microsoft or Apple or Google? That's usually when the S&Ps are offering a great swing trade entry. Something like back here. Like when it comes to swing trading, to me, those are the best, as JC would say, those are the best moments in time. Where the S&Ps, the QQQ, right, they're locked and loaded. They've got buy signals. They're near their daily 21, right? The indices themselves are gearing up for a huge push. Well, that's perfect. Like that sets the stage. Now, if a Microsoft and Amazon and Google, if they're doing the same thing at the same time, well, now you get the best of both worlds. Right? The S&Ps, the Qs gearing up for a big push away from that 21 EMA, which will typically take your Googles, your Teslas, etc., in the same direction. But then you get into a market where it's like, hey, the S&Ps, we're a little extended here, right? We're maybe a little bit cooked, but hey, Amazon offers a great entry. Yeah, you can play Amazon, but if your S&Ps go down 2%, Amazon taking a bit of a tumble as well. I like it, Vincent. That's the real chandelier exit. Taylor buys his condo and never to be seen again. Now, I can promise y'all, if I'm ever big time in my big Miami condo, we'll be here doing the same thing together every morning. But all right, my friends, I'm gonna let you go here. I gotta take the dog out real quick, and then I gotta take the good people in the gold room through the open. So like I mentioned, I'll be back in here in the free room today at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. So for those of you folks on YouTube, head to slimbertrading.com and sign up for the free room. As the name would suggest, it's free. And then you can catch a couple of my sessions per week. I think you got Henry in there a few times, Sam, Cody, the whole gang. But until this afternoon, my friends, trade safe, be disciplined. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.